Hey guys, today I tried something new and tried to make a video of me researching random stuff. I'm gonna make this a series in like I don't know how many parts, depends when I get bored and do something new again. So this series is me researching random stuff in Google. So today the first one I googled was what was the first type of alphabet, and here's what I found. So all my sources are in the description for you guys to check it out yourselves. Now without further ado, let's start the video. So disclaimer first, notice I might butcher some words. Don't attack me in the comments please. And if some of these things are wrong, feel free to educate me in the comments. So let's start the video. So the first one that I found was from webspace.ship.edu. Now it says here the original alphabet was developed by a Semitic people living near or in Egypt. They based it on the idea developed by the Egyptians, but used their own specific symbols. It was quickly adopted by the neighbors and relatives to the east and north. The Canaanites? Is that what you say? Is that how you say it? The Hebrews and the Phoenicians. The Phoenicians spread their alphabet to other people of the Near East and Asia Minor, as well as to the Arabs, the Greeks, and the Etruscans. And as far west as present-day Spain, the letters and names on the left are the ones used by the Phoenicians. Letters on the right are possible earlier versions. If you don't recognize the letters, keep in mind that they have been since reversed, since the Phoenicians wrote from right to left and often turned on their sides. So the first letter is A, or back then Aleph, the ox. It began as the image of an ox's head, represents a glottal stop before a vowel. The Greeks, needing vowel symbols, used it for alpha. The Romans used it as A, which is the one we use right now. B. Beth. The house may have derived from a more rectangular Egyptian alphabetic glyph of a reed shelter, but which stood for the sound of H. The Greeks called it beta, B, and it was passed on to the Romans as B. Gimel. The camel may have originally been the image of a boomerang-like throwing stick. The Greeks called it gamma. The Etruscans, who had no G sound, used it for the K sound and passed it on to the Romans as C. They in turn added a short bar to it to make it do double duty as G. Thales, the door, may have originally been a fish. The Greeks turned it into a delta and passed it on to the Romans as D. T may have meant window, but originally represented a man facing us with raised arms, calling out or praying. The Greeks used it for the vowel epsilon, E, simple E. The Romans used it as E. Wow. Not wow. Wow. W-A-W, okay. The hook may originally have represented the mace. The Greeks used one version of wow, which looked like our F, which they called digama, for the number 6. This was used by the Etruscans for V, and they passed it on to the Romans as F. The Greeks had a second version, upsilon, which they moved to the back of their alphabet. The Romans used a version of upsilon for V, which later would be written U as well, then adopted the Greek form as Y. In the 7th century England, the W was created. Zion may have meant sword or some other kind of weapon. The Greeks used it for zeta. The Romans only adopted it later as Z and put it at the end of their alphabet. Next up is I don't know how to pronounce this, but I'll put it up on the screen right now. Hello, future me here. To correction, apparently it was actually just a typo in the website. I don't know how they put a dot in the middle of H and E, but yeah, it's pronounced hef actually. So that's all. Go back. The fence was a deep throat, pharyngeal, consonant. The Greeks used it for the vowel era, H, but the Romans used it for H. Teth may have originally represented a spindle. The Greeks used it for feta, but the Romans, who did not have the s sound, dropped it. Yod, the hand, began as a representation of the entire arm. The Greeks used a highly simplified version of it for iota. The Romans used it as I, and later added a variation for J. Calf, the hollow or palm of the hand, was adopted by the Greeks for kappa, and passed it on to the Romans as K. Lamed, began as a picture of an ox stick or goad. The Greeks used it for lambada. The Romans turned it into L. Mem, the water, became the Greek mu. The Romans kept it as M. Nun, the fish, was originally a snake or eel. The Greeks used it for na, and the Romans for n. Samak, which also meant fish, is of uncertain origin. It may have originally represented a tent peg or some kind of support. It bears a strong resemblance to the Egyptian Jed pillar seen in many sacred carvings. The Greeks used it for xi and a simplified variation of it for chi. The Romans kept only the variation as x. Ayin. The I was another deep throat consonant. The Greeks used it for omicron. They developed a variation of it for omega and put it at the end of their alphabet. The Romans kept the original for O. Pe, the mouth, may have originally been a symbol for a corner. The Greeks used it for pi. The Romans closed up one side and turned it into P. Sade, a sound between S and SH, is of uncertain origin. It may have originally been a symbol for plant, but later looks more like a fishhook. The Greeks did not use it, although an odd variation does show up as Sampi, a symbol for 900. The Etruscans used it in the shape for an M for their SH sound, but the Romans had no need for it. Cough. The monkey may have originally represented a knot. It was used for a sound similar to K, but further back in the mouth. The Greeks only used it for the number 90, but the Etruscans and Romans kept it for Q. Esh, the head, was used by the Greeks for rho. The Romans added a line to differentiate it from their P and made it R. Shin, the tooth, may have originally represented a bow, although it was first pronounced as sh. The Greeks used it sideways for sigma. The Romans rounded it to make S. Lastly is tau, the mark, was used by the Greeks for tau. The Romans used it for T. Now I'm going to be showing you a picture of these alphabets, the Phoenician alphabets. That's actually what you call it. I forgot to say that. Anyways, here are the letters. So yeah, that was the end of the video. I hope you learned something, and if I didn't mention something, please feel free to share it in the comments. If I don't know something, you can share that with me in the comments. I hope you enjoyed the video. Consider subscribing, because I'll upload every 3 to 4 days, because it's hard to make these types of videos because it's very long. And yeah, if you made it this far into the video, thanks. Consider subscribing. You can always unsubscribe later. Yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Have a nice day.